Man, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. The price is so fuck boring. Oh, welcome everybody to the Daily High with your hosts, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning, morning. Uh, yeah, you know what? I actually second that. Yeah, the price is breaking all-time highs, but I don't know. I was just home doing my thing. It's like checking the price every now and then. Oh, new all-time high. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing.
Yeah, I've written a note here. I
Oh,
think
up
that
another grand. Oh, up another $2,000. Okay, good. Moving along.
I think that we all have post-traumatic stress syndrome. There's something wrong with this. Like there's us as a Bitcoin community. I don't know. I'll put. Look, do you know how to do polls in the group chat, in the live chat?
Yeah.
Run a poll. Are people blowing their gaskets that we're at all time highs and it's the greatest thing in the world, or do they feel like a Thursday and they're just like, what are we, like what? How do people feel? Because this doesn't feel like when we crossed 20,000 the second, when we rebroke 20,000. It doesn't feel. I don't know. I don't feel all that much. I've just because it's so. Maybe it's because we're so close to 100K. Maybe because like I just feel like have we got the wrong impression because you and I have been here for so long now that it's we're numb to it, or are there new people in who are watching going, "This is incredible. This is incredible, incredible." I want to know. I want to know. I don't know if my opinion is correct, but I'd love to know. Let's get into the charts because we are. It's just unbelievable what is happening right now. I just don't feel as much as I should. But we start on the weekly time frame. Give me 1 second. I've got to move my head around. This is a data error, but ignore that for a second. We had the best weekly close of all time. I feel embarrassed even just mentioning it. The greatest weekly close of all time. That candle was the best, I believe. Stop me if I'm wrong, Tone. At a we'll call it a $12,000 weekly candle. Was that the best weekly candle we've ever had? Tone?
Um, I think it's close. Uh, I was checking that out. By percentage, it definitely wasn't, even if we're talking recent
Yeah.
history, like the last
Yeah.
10 years, not the last
Right.
15 years.
Right.
But
Right.
I think it was one candle that beat it. But it stopped there in the top three, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Either way, it's noteworthy and it's insane. It's brilliant. Um, I'm going to release. I went back and found a show that I did with Justin. I thought I did it with you on a Friday, but I remember the internet was really poor at that time, so I was still had bad internet at that time in Japan. But I went back and refound the show where I talked about the 6 things that I needed to happen on this candle here. But actually it was on this candle here that we were on when I said the 6 things that I needed on this candle that would would change the world for me. And actually, it all happened on this candle right here. But all the things that I was looking at all happened just delayed. It was the purple phantom signal, the crossing of the loose to modify Lucid Star, flipping the wave green, the Socrates' EXA cross. See that how it kind of worked out. It was on this candle here, perhaps. Not this candle here, but it was back here in this zone. We broke through that, the Wyckoff thing that Justin was really big on. It just and the MRI as well, getting that green star candle. It's just everything that I possibly wanted happened on this candle. I just predicted it a little early, to be honest, but they did all come into play, breaking that descending channel finally. Absolutely unbelievable. We're at 82,500. In the next 3 minutes, we're going to get to the all-time high. It's just setting up so beautifully. This trade that I'm in now at 20x leverage from 63,000, that's nearly 500% up in that trade. I haven't had a 500% trade for a very, very long time. And it's a funny psychological thing as well because this trade is entered from it was entered at 60,500, but I've added to it at 63,000. Keep that in mind because a lot of the people at 63,000 were like, it's too high. The price is too high. I'm too late to get into the move. That's a real warning sign for you of what Bitcoin can do. And that show I did with Socrates last week is you know, um, hat tip to that kind of mentality. I remember when we crossed $30,000 When we on the second, we got to 20,000. The second time we got to the all-time high, we broke 30,000. And Socrates was saying at the time, like, if you think 30,000 is high, you don't understand the power of Bitcoin yet. And I remember all of us at the time were like, I can't believe it's at 30,000. It's so high, it's too late to buy. And it went to 70,000. And that's kind of the zone we're in right now. Like, is 82 too high to buy? Well, Michael Saylor doesn't think 82 is too high to buy. He just made another purchase today. 82 is not too high to buy if your long-term perspective is Bitcoin is going up. And I really do. That being said, I'm not entering any 10, 15, 30, 40, 50x leverage trades from 82. That would be insane. But it just looks great. Weekly time frame looks fantastic. Daily time frame. Are we getting anywhere near like an MRI top or anything, or is this thing just going parabolic? Nah,
We are.
MRI. Well, we
We're
are
we're we're we're,
this
we're
week.
entering MRI top zone everywhere, right? So on in like 3 days, we're gonna
Yeah,
have a daily MRI top, and next week is a weekly MRI top. So we're already in that topping process. The 4 day is coming up on an MRI top to starting tomorrow with tomorrow's 4 day candle. So you'll have the daily MRI top in line with the 4 day, in line with the weekly, pretty much, just off by
yeah.
a few days. Everything is topping over the next 7 days. So just
Yeah.
everyone needs to keep that in mind.
Well, let's just review right now what the daily RSI looks like, getting up here and getting to, we'll call it 80. All right. So if I put a line in at 80, this is all. Everything we do on this show is me looking at it for the first time. That's why sometimes it can be messy, but I haven't been preparing anything. I'm just eyeballing it as we see it. Let's have a look how often we get above 80 and how it corresponds to the charts here. This was above 80. Didn't mean anything in hindsight. It rallied massively after that. This,
Whoa, whoa,
though,
whoa, whoa, hold on. I gotta back you up. You gotta go to the beginning of that, right? Like when did it first break 80? And then to me, that's right. And then it tops a few days later, and then it consolidates for like a good month.
yeah, yeah, fair enough. But if we zoom in on that time frame, there's still 20, 30% either side on these moves. Like that's still a fair bit of
Mm,
movement. It didn't top out at
yeah,
the end. It didn't, it doesn't just mean just because we got to these zones here. And you'll notice like these red diamonds here are correlating really well with these tops. I mean, they are trimming points, obviously, right? But
yeah.
they're not the end of the move. It doesn't just because your RSI is topping out doesn't mean we don't have to build this like divergence that
Right,
we were
right.
building.
The crazy one is the one in February, man. It hits 80 on the
Yeah,
RSI. Nope, not that one.
that one
Nope,
there.
not that one. That one.
Oh
Nope.
yeah, yeah,
But yep,
right.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah,
hits an
yeah.
MRI top
Yeah.
with an overbought RSI,
Yeah.
pulls back for like a week or two, and then just completely melts up like crazy.
And that's what I mean, putting in another
I
40%.
would love to see something like that happen, right? It
So do
actually
I.
has a similar feel to it, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not as cut and dry as you think, oh geez, we're getting overboard here on the RSI. That means we must be topping out. It doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't mean that at all because just like this situation back here, we can top out on the RSI here, trend sideways for a week, bring that RSI back down, and then just shoot up again. That went up 40% from that point. So I'm not concerned about the RSI on the daily at all. And if you go back and watch the show that Sock and I did last week, and I'm not fully convinced that he's right, but I'm I'm listening. I'm all ears about what this potential hyperwave parabolic move can do, which just throws your oscillators in the trash. This thing could absolutely take off. Always be mindful that a crash could come at any moment. We're overextended like you wouldn't believe. I'm not saying it has to go vertical, but this thing absolutely is in that hyperbolic move where it absolutely wants to run. We're at 82,000. Last week on the show, when we did the live stream, the presidential day, when we shot all the way up to 75 and or closed at 75, when we were doing the show, we were cracking through 70, 73. What was the percentage that we could close above 76? That felt ridiculous. Socrates said, I think we'll close that day at 80. And we scoffed and laughed at him. What an idiot. Well, it only took a couple of days, and he was right. Well, now we're at 82, and it's what have you done for me lately? Do you know that this thing is in a mood to just run? 4 hour time frame. 4 hour time frame. Is it an MRI top? Obviously, all the oscillators are doing the same thing on the daily time frame, but I don't think this is it, here we go. Loading, loading, loading. I don't know if you it's like the MRI topped here, you know, and we've started a new count again. We're about to hit another acceleration zone. I don't. I think you have to throw all my alphanumerics TA is out the window because we were locked and loaded from at the start of the show. I mentioned and I'm going to release this tonight probably, or if not tomorrow. The six things that I was looking for back here that they all came into play on this candle. That's me. That's me on this candle saying I've got nothing else to tell you. My analysis right now is useless. I don't have top targets. This is when I was as possibly as bullish as I could possibly be.
Yeah,
This is just the
you sound like me. I've said that on many occasions over the years.
right. And it's not revisionist history. That's why I went back and found this clip of me saying that I need these six things to happen. And once all these six things happen, there's nothing else for me to do. Just enjoy the ride. And I'm on that roller coaster enjoying the ride right now.
Yeah,
The
no,
last
I was saying the same thing, but I was
yeah,
also saying for like 3 to 4 months prior, just hang in there and wait till October. You remember me screaming about that for like 6 months? I mean, just make it to October. Just like
yeah.
don't die and don't lose your money till October.
You said it, mate. You said it. I mean, the people who watch us every night, I think they know what our jive is right now. Bangbox did a classic trade on Sunday yesterday, which was just brilliant. I was had our football semi-final. We entered the trade here at 76, call it, and within a matter of a few hours, we pulled out 28% on the trade. Completely automated, free trading bot. That's 28% more Bitcoin you have in your pocket on top of the price going up an additional 7%. So you've got the price went up 7%, but people using Bangbox had an additional 28%. I did a calculation. Since we launched Bangbox, we are up 45%. So I want to just have a look at this just for a second. This is again, didn't prepare this. I can't remember exactly what month we launched Bangbox, but it's been a few months now. There's been plenty of dud trades, plenty of great trades, but let's just say it was in what do you reckon it was? Maybe like July. We'll call it July. It was around my birthday we launched it, right? So from July, August, July, it was around here. I guess the price was around 60,000. This is rough numbers. I'd have to go back and check it. The price of Bitcoin has rallied 34%. Unbelievable. You're 34% up since July. But if you had used Bangbox in that time, not only is the price up 34%, you have 45% more Bitcoin. This is why I built the Bangbox, and I hope that everybody who's using it is enjoying that. Coming back to you right now, Tone. All the links are in the description for Bangbox. We've got a fantastic community in the Discord group. Join it. We've got new bots in beta. We've got new bots coming, a brand new interface coming. This is going really, really, really well. Great promotions as well. We've got Blowfin and BitGet. They still have great promotions. Just check the fine print. Blowfin's got another great promotion coming at the end of the week. Tone, what are you seeing, mate? Are you as happy as I am?
So I am actually as happy as the poll suggests. So I did put the poll up. I don't know if you
Oh,
can see it.
no, oh, I'll do it on
I'm
phone.
not
What's
going
the
to ruin
result?
the excitement for you, but if you pull up the
All right, I'll have a
if you
look.
pull up our video, you'll see the poll, and you should vote in it, right? Because you're not going to see the results until you vote.
Okay, all right, right. Let me do that. Let me do that right now. The poll. This is what he wrote. On a scale of 1 to 100, how excited are you about the Bitcoin price? 1 to 49, 50 to 74, 75 to 80, 89, 90 to 100. I would say I'm 50 to 74, and 33% of the audience currently agrees with me. That's like It's like it's a
Oh,
lukewarm
that's you know
all-time
what? That's
high.
what I voted as well, and that is by far winning, right? And with 75 to 89 coming in second.
We've over 150 people have voted. This is not a small sample size, and everybody watching is a pretty learned. We've got one of the most learned viewer bases in on the internet. So that's yeah. We'll check in on the poll at the end of the show. I'll give you an update.
Oh, hey Matt. So Bang Box is not in a trade right now, right?
No, mate, no, it's not. It doesn't.
Right.
It was a
And
it
so
really.
so I added the 128 exponential moving average. It's
Yeah, look at
actually
that
pretty different than the simple one. Man,
yeah.
you almost reset again. It
Again,
pierced it.
fucking tell me about it. And that's why I'm going to talk to the dev tomorrow and see if I
Wait,
might have to
you
rethink
need
it.
to rerun some numbers. You need to do some back testing to see maybe piercing should be the reset, not the
So,
closing.
can I go back to screen share for a second? I'm going to give away so much here, but I'm in a good mood. I want to show you why I didn't do it, and I'm not
No,
stupid.
no, I understand. I understand from a from a coding perspective, it's hard on a
No,
pierce, but you
it's
can
not.
reset it a candle later.
It's not at all about the coding side on a piece. That's not the issue. I'll show you why. Um, I haven't changed it, and why I'm gonna change it just for back testing to test if it's better. And if it is better, I'll concede. But there's a big reason why I didn't do it. There's a few things that go in a bang box, and I won't give it all away. But when this comes down and just touches like this, it still wouldn't have entered the trade at any of these points here. It probably would have got into the trade more like here, okay,
Right.
because of the other metrics, which is fine right now. The price is going up. But what I really want to see is not just a tiny little correction down, unless it comes off a bit of a consolidation prior to a dip down. That's fantastic. I don't want to see just a touchdown, because even here, it just touched down. It still might not have entered the trade until here or here. I
I
really want
gotcha.
I really want it to come down and then enter the trade just above the line. I don't want it to enter the trade way above the line, because then the reversion to the mean is so pressing at that point. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I
So
see. I know. I fully understand what you mean now.
yeah, so that's why Tone, that's why it's built the way it is. And I might be wrong, but that was the thought behind it. Please take over.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Hey, it's up 45% on the year, which
Yeah.
is,
It's up
it's
it's up 40, it's
if
up
you're if
45.
you're in a hedge fund, you'd be at the top of the you'd be in the top five in the world
That's like 3 months, 3 or 4 months.
with that kind
Not
of
bad.
return. Yeah,
Not bad. Not bad.
top 2 percentile of all hedge funds. That's
Right.
probably that's what you're looking at. Okay, let me go back to my charts. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, we are entering the topping process. The topping process has started this morning with the MRI warning candle coming in on a weekly MRI top. Now, this means that next candle will be an MRI top candle, but this does not mean that we can't simply top this week. The last time we had one of these MRI warning candles would have been the candle before the last MRI top, which would have come in back in April, right before the halving. You see that that was the last bullish weekly candle before we went down, probably 30% or something like that. Let me see. Yeah, we ended up going down 21%. Okay. And it took like 4 weeks. So the time before that was I famously got out right here at the top because the ETFs were coming. That was the second consecutive MRI top. The weekly MRI top before that, while green weekly candles continued, you can see that the next two candles were basically consolidation. They barely broke. The following week did not break the candle's all-time high, or whatever that, sorry, the swing high wasn't an all-time high. And then the following candle, green star candle, did break the swing high, but it then pulled back and it barely closed higher. And this gives you plenty of time to decide whether you want to re-enter the trade or stay out of the market. The warning candle would have, of course, come on the candle before. And this is why I don't exit on warning candles unless I see them as red candles. So as long as this candle is rising, there's really no reason to panic here. However, keep in mind that the daily MRI top will be here on like Thursday. So towards the second half of this week, we will get the daily MRI top, which would be in line with a weekly MRI top candle coming in. Just to add a little more color to this, the 4-day chart will also have an MRI top. I don't know if that's relevant or not, but thought I'd point it out since it is on my scale. Clearly, I should have held on to my leverage trade a little bit longer, but I felt that I pushed the envelope far enough. I made good money on my leverage, and now I'm back to sleeping very comfortably in a 100% long position without any concern of exiting until later this week. So starting probably on Wednesday, I think today and tomorrow we're still okay. People have to realize something about the ETFs. It's not normal that Bitcoin goes up this much on a weekend plus pre-market trading hours. So what does that mean for the ETFs? Well, in the ETF world, people can't buy the ETFs until stock market opens, which was 45 minutes ago. In that time, Bitcoin went up a lot. And now that people start buying the ETFs today, the ETFs will need to buy additional Bitcoin to make up the difference. So I personally think that we have not yet seen the full scale liquidity drain on Bitcoin from the ETFs from these two candles. It hasn't even started yet, right? But later this week, I think it can exhaust itself and the market can pull back. Look, these spot Bitcoin ETFs, as I was saying when they were being launched, the spot Bitcoin ETFs will help drive Bitcoin to an incredible high. But they also have the ability to crash Bitcoin to a ridiculous low when the bear market comes. So I would not be surprised if over the next, say, 18 months, a year and a half into 2026, the price of Bitcoin goes to, say, $250,000, like over 300,000, even 400,000. And the ETFs will help with that. But I also would not be surprised if it then falls from 400,000 back to 80,000, because the ETFs are going to do its job on the way down as well. Okay, this is the double-edged sword of the Bitcoin ETFs. Definitely enjoy the ride, but be ready for when the bear market eventually comes. It could be worse than the last two as far as the price drawdown. It may end sooner, but the price drawdown could be insane. Not as bad as 2011 when we fell from $30 to $2 in 2 months, but somewhere in between. And on that kind of painful scale of, Bitcoin falling 40% from 400 to let's say 240 in 3 weeks.
Man, that's incredibly interesting. Incredibly interesting. As we cross $83,000.
Oh, beautiful. We did cross $83,000. So here we are. That's the 15-minute chart. Here's the daily. Look, the higher this goes, the bigger fraction of my portfolio I will be selling on the daily MRI top. I'm warning you guys now, because who knows? Maybe we're not going to stream the rest of the week, right? Also, I'm going to go to El Salvador. I'm going to be back in Miami on Wednesday. Then I'm in El Salvador. So I'll be traveling a lot as the MRI top's coming in. So I'm saying it now. The higher we go into Thursday's MRI top, the more of my portfolio I will be exiting. I will not be following Consensio rules of being 100% invested when we're that extended. And in a perfect world, we're above 88,000 by Thursday for me to feel incredibly comfortable in exiting my trade. The higher we go, the more I am comfortable taking money off the table because I'm expecting a snapback pullback. So just be aware of it now. Thought I'd point it out. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. We had an MRI top. We blew right through it. And the second consecutive MRI top is going to get us close to that, daily MRI top. That this is like 2 days away, maybe. We got 6 candles in 24 hours. So, it's going to come in on Wednesday. Yeah, it'll be around that daily MRI top. And the 1 hour still has plenty of MRI tops to go before any kind of a pullback. I think, like I said, I think the ETFs will keep driving this thing into end of week, but then there's going to be a pullback. I just, other than Michael Saylor, I just don't know who's buying right now at these prices. I think people have to realize that it's too expensive. And remember, there's still unit bias. People still think you have to buy a full Bitcoin. People still don't realize you can buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. We still need about 5 more years for people to realize they don't need to buy a full Bitcoin. I think that this 85,000 to $150,000 zone is the worst psychological zone for Bitcoin, because people will feel like they need to spend $100,000 on a Bitcoin and they don't have that. But I think once Bitcoin goes sufficiently high enough, over 150, over $200,000, people will then realize that no one has that kind of money. Therefore, you might as well just buy it. Like people will break that psychological barrier, that psychological fence that they need to own a single Bitcoin. I think that would be broken above 150.
It's so funny you say that too, because when the price of when 0.01 Bitcoin is $1,000 US, and we're not far away from that. I think that's interesting as well, because it's over, it's over at the moment. It's like 1,300 Australian dollars, 0.01, right? Which is so funny for me, because I've been here for 7 years or whatever. That 0.01 is $1,000 in back home in Australia, right? Or more. So I always thought 0.01 was useless. Do you remember, like, you'd trade and you'd lose like 0.01 in a second and you wouldn't even think about it, right? Like, I wouldn't pull a trade unless it was zero point 0.1. Do you know what I mean? Back in the day when Bitcoin was nothing, anything, I'd take like 0.05 hits like in 2 seconds. But now that there's like $1,000, I think you have to change your mentality a little bit. And it's that's interesting too, I think. Hey, look at that. Wow, wow.
I know. I'm waiting for the black line to cross into the green. It'll be a
Coming.
lot easier to do in January, and it would have been a lot easier to do back in October. But right now, we got to rally all the way to 93, or we got to break 100K by Thanksgiving, basically. And yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm watching this crossover. I don't know why. It's totally irrelevant, but can you see this run up right here?
Yeah.
Back last October, it almost crossed it. Look how close it got.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Look how close it got, and it couldn't cross it. So I don't know. I'm just like kind of fascinated by it for no reason whatsoever. Oil is just not interesting. Gold. How about that gold call, huh?
Yeah.
I'm gonna gloat on this for a little while.
Why not, mate? Why not? Seeing when you're winning.
The perfect reversal candle on an MRI top. This is why anyone watching this should have the MRI indicator on their chart. And S&P 500, here's the daily chart, continues to go higher and higher and higher. I think the S&P is going to top as well on the daily MRI top, but that's not coming until like Thanksgiving week. I think a lot of people are going to take profit around Thanksgiving. I think this week is going to be a bullish week, and then across all markets except gold. And I think the week after, which is basically the week of Thanksgiving, well, no, actually, the week after is not the week of Thanksgiving, it's the week after that. But I think people are going to start taking profits the week before Thanksgiving. Markets are at an all-time high. People are going to want to, just enjoy time with their families for Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, maybe they'll come back after Thanksgiving for, one more push higher so that they can have a better Christmas. But I think there'll be a couple of exits. Thanksgiving week has very low liquidity. Markets tend to dip a smidge. So this is a breakaway gap.
I don't think so. I think what you're about to see is the 2017 going from 10,000 20,000, where 10,000 seemed ridiculous, unbelievable, unreasonable, and then it was at 20,000 not far after.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm still waiting for the God candle on daily Bitcoin. And I want to see that God candle at the top, not off the lows, right? So the best daily candle we've had was the $6,000 candle. I think that was the best daily candle ever. This one is close.
Hmm.
This is 6,600, and this was 6,200. Okay, so we've had two close calls. These were $6,000 candles. Here is a $5,000 candle. Here is almost a $6,000 candle. That's pretty much it. And right here we had just a $3,000 candle. By percentage, this was massive. That was a 10% candle. Someone said we had the greatest week ever.
You did. I said it.
$11,000 week. That's possible that this was the greatest week ever. I know that before Sunday's rally, we didn't have the greatest week ever, but yeah, but I guess last night's close pushed it over the top. And
Yeah.
today, it's going to be the ETFs, guys. I may still get, that 20,000 Bitcoin day purchase, 25,000 Bitcoin day purchase, because you have to add Sunday into the equation, right? Because they don't really buy on a Sunday, but it's based on the price. It's based on the demand versus supply for the ETF. And as you know, these numbers come in like a day late. So sometime at the end of the week, I mean, Monday's numbers may not be like over 10 or 20,000, but Tuesday's number might be. So let's see. These ETF flows are completely insane right here on the ETF
If it
flows. I'm
just
still keeping track of it.
we're at 83 500 right now. People are going to stop their selling if like for example, take you, right? You got out of that leverage position and then it went
Mhm.
up another 20%. If people keep getting burnt by selling, the selling is going to dry up pretty quick, you know? Like
Yeah,
you got
there's
to
no exactly. There's no reason to sell if the price keeps going up, but people want to keep buying. And this is what I mean. Eventually, there's going to be a shortage of Bitcoin, and we've said this many times. Don't be surprised you wake up one day and it's up $10,000 while you were sleeping.
right, right. And get bang box and hopefully you're in the trade.
And
That's
just
all.
and just wait till Michael Saylor finally gets MicroStrategy into the S&P 500.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
imagine if a few more companies start buying Bitcoin. I took a look at MicroStrategy's market cap relative to other stocks. I really thought they were higher. They're like barely in the top 100 stocks by market cap. They got a long way to go, but if they're in the top 100 stocks by market cap, begs the question, why aren't they in the top 500 stocks, right?
Mm.
Why aren't they in the
Yeah.
S&P 500 with a top 100 market cap? And that's because the traditional finance world still doesn't believe it, that you can base an entire company about purchasing Bitcoin. And once he climbs up into the top 20 companies by market cap, they'll get it.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll get it. They'll get it.
But
All
like
right.
top companies by market cap. And yeah, I was like scrolling pretty far down. I'm like, what am I missing here? Uh, I think they're in the top 100. Look for MSTR. Maybe they moved up in a little bit. Hold on. MSTR. Oh, it's not even here. Yeah, they're not even in the top 100. Jesus. Next 100. Hold on. Where are they? I thought they were in the top 100. Oh, wow. Okay, maybe they were in the top 100. I think I was way off.
There's
We'll
some
find it
big.
eventually.
Is this worldwide though? This SoftBank and everything. You mean American companies?
Yeah, maybe this is worldwide.
These are
Let's have a look.
worldwide.
But I'm already here. Hey, we found it. They're
Yeah.
322 worldwide.
Yeah.
They're at 62 billion. Uh, yeah, I mean they got a long way to go.
Go to
But still,
American.
that you're right. That is worldwide. I
Yeah.
mean, Foxcom's here. No, that's Freeport. Okay, that's not Foxconn. And yeah, I got to get the American companies. I think they're like maybe they're outside the 100. I'm sure somebody in the live chat knows where they're ranked on the US index for MicroStrategy. But uh but yeah,
All right.
man, I'm just watching this and it's awesome. Oh yeah, we gotta go.
Okay. We,
Close
we've
this
got
out.
we've had 245 votes on our scale here on our quiz, and the 50 to 70% excited, which is that you and I both picked, wins with 33%. And then the other scales were who's 1 to 49% excited. I know who you fucking freaks are.
Shitcoiners, shitcoiners.
You're the ones with no Bitcoin. Sorry, that's true. You know who you are. You know you are. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Oh, and one more thing. By the way, I think the 90 to 100 just got second place. I think that only happened because we're breaking all-time highs on this stream, right? Like, for example, if today was like a bit of a down day, I think that would have easily come in third place.
I agree with you because I'm feeling a bit more excited this show than this, a few hours ago.
Okay,
So
I gotta say that if we start breaking 90,000 and it looks
oh,
like we could by end of week, I will be super excited. We do this poll again when it's above 90. I think that 90 to 100% is gonna crush it.
I hope so. But the question is not, are you happy? We're happy. It is, are you happier than when we cracked 20? That, do you know, when the second time we cracked 20? That's the question. That felt more, right?
True. All right, man.
Right.
Close us out.
Thank you everybody for watching. Links in the description below. Join Black Box, the revolution. 45% since we started. Couldn't be more happy. See you tomorrow, same time. Go Bitcoin.